let's get to the news of the day. And the first up, obviously, is the Canelo whole Ryan Garcia legal, I should say, upcoming sort of seemingly legal battle that might happen. Gabe Oppenheim, obviously, Gabe Words, he's a blogger, so to speak, in the boxing world. A decent one as well. Hold on. There we go. Sorry, somebody was calling over there on Skype. I could tell. But digressing, Canelo, Gabe, per this article, I will post the link here in the live chat for you guys that want to read it yourself. It's a pretty long piece. We're not going to read it all. We will get to parts of it though. I'll read the first few paragraphs, and we're going to skip to another part later on. Canelo Alvarez is unhappy with this promotional outfit and its semi-leader / figurehead Oscar De La Hoya. That much you can read anywhere. But here are some reasons, all of which I shared with Golden Boy seeking its version of events, and none of which was refuted. Canelo told Oscar during negotiation last year not to promise DAZN a third fight with Golovkin. Not because Canelo feared the fight, but because he felt he won the second in a straightforward fashion, and he sincerely disliked the idea of helping out Golovkin financially. Yet Oscar promised DAZN a third Canelo Triple G go-around anyway, which has hurt a bunch of people. It led to DAZN signing Triple G by guaranteeing him a shot at Canelo. They could not deliver presently. DAZN is in breach of the Triple G contract as a result. And we're going to get to this part as well. And Triple G's lawyers have now sent DAZN a letter about the violation, demanding a title fight. So obviously the Derevyanchenko fight is, well, that probably will come into play. So their guy has a belt to dangle before Canelo in 2020. Let's skip ahead a little bit. Right here. Canelo has secured the services of an independent lawyer, either to renegotiate his Golden Boy deal or to ensure it's properly enforced, or to cut a deal in which Canelo buys out the remainder of his contract. I think that part is really interesting. Just saying. The lawyer might wind up doing all three, and in that order. Someone ballparked a buyout figure to me of 20 to 30 million, but only if Canelo's lawyer can show Golden Boy has been acting in bad faith or not living up to its side of the deal, and the figures obviously couldn't vary greatly based on fight outcomes. Also, just to add to this part, and I think Gabe does actually a really good job of sort of wording it. Sadly, this is where Oscar's history of substance abuse has legal implication. I really respect the way Oscar has treated me personally, and addiction is a disease, but Canelo was reportedly embarrassed by a few instances in which Oscar was a no-show at his pressers, ostensibly because Oscar was impaired or hungover. If it can be proven he was indeed absent for that reason, Canelo will get to pay far less to buy out his deal because it portends greater difficulty for Oscar should the case be litigated. Now, before we get to Ryan Garcia's part, I just want to add sort of my personal experiences with Canelo at pressers, with Golden Boy at pressers, and being at pressers where Oscar is not present. It was always under breath, and sort of in whispers that, oh, Oscar's not here, you sort of know why. So if they are going down this path, really intrigued by that. And just to add to this, obviously, Ryan Garcia, and just for those that want to know, we will get to Triple G's aspect to it and sort of try to connect it all together in a bit. But Mike Coppinger coming out and saying, sources tell The Athletic Ryan Garcia has retained powerful boxing attorney Guadalupe Valencia, who is also advising him. One big issue, Garcia earned $50,000 for his March bout, despite Golden Boy approaching $1 million in revenue from a DAZN event Garcia headlined as an A-side. Now, obviously, there might be some more stipulations in the contract, which I would like to see, but bearing that, it looks like he got underpaid for what Ryan Garcia truly brings to the table, to be quite honest, especially in today's market, in the DAZN era, just in the streaming era, right? Like, a guy like Ryan Garcia, you think would be overpaid drastically. Like, Ryan Garcia should be approaching 7 figures. Just being honest, guys. The guy's a draw. He's an internet sensation. Like, even if we don't think he's that great, drawing power is always separate from talent. It just is, unfortunately. Look at Adrian Broner, for God's sake. Now, beside that point, though, let's sort of connect Ryan Garcia and Canelo's seeming legal preparations and what it could spell for Golden Boy. Golden Boy is on the precipice of fighting a legal battle with not only their biggest star, but in essence, their second biggest star and the hope for their future in Ryan Garcia, who's in his early 20s, who could be something later down the road. I don't know if Golden Boy can survive a scenario where they lose both Ryan Garcia and Canelo. Do any of us believe that? On top of that, now Canelo's buyout would be pretty large, 20 or 30 million. Like, I know that's in theory one fight for him, but 20, 30 million in pocket just to give to someone is a lot of money, and especially in comparison to guys like Mayweather, who bought out his top rank contract for $750,000. And that was after De La Hoya fight. I believe that was after, or was that before or after the De La Hoya fight? I'm trying to remember. Gary saying Verge Ortiz. No, Gary, come on. They have a lot of work for Verge Ortiz to get anywhere to Ryan Garcia's marketability and drawing power. But digressing from that point, Gary, again, if we're in a paradigm where Canelo and Ryan Garcia are separate now from Golden Boy, what happens? And we've heard rumors that the Zone has put tens of millions, or at least I've heard rumors that they put tens of millions into investing into Golden Boy. And imagine they lose all of that, in essence, because if Golden Boy doesn't have Canelo and Ryan Garcia, how are they going to recoup that investment at all? I just don't see it happening. Golden Boy is in deep, deep shit if their two biggest stars are hiring lawyers and advisors separate from them. And also in Gabe's piece, he says that Canelo has sent out feelers to other promoters. This is a huge issue for Golden Boy that they need to address with everything they have, because they've already lost arguably a majority of their stable 4 years ago when the whole PBC, Al Heyman, Richard Schaefer split happened. So they can afford to then lose two more guys of this nature. They just can't do it. It's not possible. Now, in a second, I'll talk about sort of DAZN and their sort of implications and what they're sort of dealing with in this sort of, I don't know, dilemma, the situation where you have Canelo and Ryan Garcia battling Golden Boy, and you're sort of the network involved in between all of this, and also the fact that Triple G is now hiring, or at least has his lawyer sending notices to you that you're in breach of contract. But luckily, at least for the the Triple G side, Dan Rafael reporting IBF on Monday morning ordered the Derevyanchenko Triple G vacant middleweight title fight per sources. And of course, if he gets the title fight, per Gabe's reporting and per other people's reporting as well, DAZN would no longer be in breach of their contract with Triple G. However, that does not shore up the issue of DAZN in the middle of Golden Boy versus Canelo and Ryan Garcia. Because Canelo and Ryan Garcia are hiring lawyers to see what their options are. And we know when this happens, we know the route it takes usually. Highly curious to see how this goes and see how many years it could take out both men's careers, honestly. I really hope it doesn't take any issues. Because like a guy like Canelo doesn't have a fight lined up, doesn't have a fight scheduled, and he's apparently hiring lawyers. Ryan Garcia was mentioned with the fight today against Avery Sparrow by Barboza Box, obviously of ESPN Deportes. And I'll be honest, I want to see more information about that because Ryan Garcia is still going through litigation with his former manager at the moment as well, which that attorney allegedly was also not allegedly was on retainer for that case, but now is on retainer for this case. So again, we're in a position here where Golden Boy, a promotional outfit that's been invested heavily by its network, is currently facing a upcoming, again, potential legal battle against their two biggest draws. And if they lose those two draws, what do they have left? Virgil Ortiz. They just signed Wenhang Manafin, the minimum weight champion. What are they really going to do to survive in this climate, in this marketplace, where PBC has a gigantic stable? Matchroom is doing wonders, not only in the UK and but also in the US. I mean, just worldwide, they are. Even the Matchroom haters have to admit, comparative to other promoters, Matchroom is a clear 1A or 1B right now. It is. And right now, Golden Boy is arguably even below, especially if they lose Canelo and Ryan Garcia, they probably go under like Frank Warren's stable in terms of relevancy. Dennis in the chat, with Dennis and Ryan Garcia sucks. Look, Ryan Garcia, we can all agree. No one's disagreeing here that Ryan Garcia is not the best prospect. However, we have to all still agree, though, because it is factual, that he is their second biggest draw and second biggest star. And that's all I'm arguing. So if you lose your second biggest star, that's going to hurt you. Imagine if PBC lost Wilder and Broner to Matchroom. That would be massive news. Or maybe even like Spence and Wilder, let's say. Right? That would be massive news because those are the two biggest stars in their stable. Again, Canelo and Ryan Garcia, clearly the two biggest stars. I would say the gap between them and a Virgil Ortiz or anyone else in their stable is far wider than, let's say, other stables, right? Like PBC has a much deeper star-studded stable than others. So is Matchroom. So is others, right? Internet draw is a streaming draw. That's how it works. Kaz saying, they'd be under Kathy Duva's stable if they lose both. Oh, of course. Well, I mean, yeah, that's easy. Because they, like, Kathy Duva still has Kovalev and, like, Bivol. Those are two really good light heavyweights. Who else do they have? That's about it for terms of, like, real elite guys. But that would still be more than Virgil Ortiz, who's not even a champion. But again, DAZN, you have to wonder what their headspace is at right now because they've been beefing with their star in terms of Canelo. And Canelo is now beefing with his promoter. You just got to worry about the planning and the unity in terms of just running a business. They need sort of, a new company like DAZN needs things to be running smoothly right now, and it's not. It's not. And that's something to be concerned about. Obviously, leave a comment down below. Lewis, a good point bringing Jaime McGee up. I should mention him. 92 Akutsi and Saddam Ali. I will say this. In terms of drawing power, we can probably all agree that they might be even above Virgil Ortiz, right? So you would put Canelo right as number one. Like, that's clear. Right? It doesn't need to be argued. But I'd also say it would be clear as Ryan Garcia is number two. And then probably in 2019, maybe not career-wise, but in 2019, in terms of what they can draw, Jaime McGee is third. And then maybe Saddam Ali or Virgil Ortiz as like a tie for fourth, right? But the gaps between those are drastic, in my opinion. Matthew D'Souza saying, Matt, do you think the loss of Richard Schaefer has been a key factor? It's been instrumental. I mean, let's be honest. To Golden Boy's rapid decline, where if it's not Canelo fighting, they're losing money. Like, it's just, this is public knowledge. Their financial information, at least some of their financial information is public. And we know that Golden Boy Promotions does not make money. They actually lose money when Canelo's not fighting. So, even if they just lose Canelo, let alone Ryan Garcia, like, that would be massive. Golden Boy seriously needs to find their next guy. in some way. Even if it's like Verge Ortiz like being like a relevant player at 140, like that's not enough. Like they need something more. Otherwise, they went from being we were all there, guys. I remember you all being there in a sense, right? We went from 2013 era of Showtime, which was Golden Boy, Al Heyman, Showtime, all working together in concert, Richard Schaefer, and they're putting on, without a doubt, the best shows, right? And then you had obviously Top Rank, K2, and Main Events over on HBO, trying to sort of compete in that sort of 2-year window, right? And Golden Boy and Showtime were on top of the world. And then within a day, everything changed. Everything changed. Golden Boy had to go back to HBO. Think about that. Things changed so drastically for Golden Boy that they went from dominating on their network to having to go back to HBO, limping, tail between their legs. Oscar had to go to Bob Arum's house and like make up so that he could go back to HBO in essence, right? Like things changed so drastically for Golden Boy. The only saving grace they had was Canelo. And through that whole time, Canelo and Oscar's relationship has been deteriorating. I've seen bits and pieces of it along the way, personally up close. Okay? And that was years ago when I saw it. I'm surprised it's taken this long. But anyways, guys, like I said, leave a question, topic, whatever, or a comment about this topic, about the Oscar Canelo Ryan Garcia split, the legal upcoming battle it seems that we're gearing up for. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Who wins? Do Canelo and Ryan Garcia in, let's say, a few years' time, are they separated from Golden Boy and under Canelo Promotions? Do we see that? Do we see that they go through a Mikey Garcia-like battle, Andre Ward-like legal battle, and 2 years on the line, they come out and it's Canelo Promotions. Ryan Garcia is in that stable. Maybe Oscar Valdez too comes over. Maybe he becomes a free agent by that time. Everyone that's been trained over by Eddie Rene. So I wouldn't be surprised. Far crazier things have happened in this world.